Oh, well, back tuning into today's video, we're going to have a look at weather for the next 8 to 10 days. It's staying very unsettled across the country over the next week or so. No sign of a break, really, in the unsettled conditions. So, going to be more heavy rain, strong winds, gales at times. Really is looking pretty disturbed, and we're firmly locked into this. No sign of a break in the foreseeable future. Now, before I go on with the video, just to talk about the advertising with video ads on my page at gazworthbiz.com. Hit play on the video ad. You'll be supporting gazworthbiz.com. Thanks very much for doing that. Gaz Shop is opening tomorrow. You'll be able to go from Gazworthbiz to Amazon and do your Christmas shopping, and at the same time you'll be helping to support Gazworthbiz. Gazworthbiz will get a royalty on anything that you buy. So go to Amazon from Gaz Shop from tomorrow for your Christmas shopping. And yeah, you'll be able to support website. And in celebration of that, I'm going to start doing some Christmas forecasts, would you believe? We're going to start using this long-range CFS model and see if we can find out any trends for the Christmas weather as we move through November. So that will all be happening tomorrow. The Christmas forecast will probably be tomorrow evening. I'll be launching Gaz Shop sometime through the day tomorrow, and also tomorrow we'll have the long-range update from the JMA model. So a lot going on tomorrow, so keep checking back for all the new developments. Right, let's start with the factor chart from UK Met Office. The human interpretation of the moles by the forecasters at the Met Office. This is for midday on Friday, midday tomorrow. What we're interested in is this area of low pressure to the southwest of the country. That's going to have a lot of heavy rain associated with it, pushing up across England and Wales through the course of Friday into midnight on Saturday morning. There's the low pressure sitting right over the top of southeastern England, quite a deep low pressure, and this occluded front will be bringing quite a lot of heavy rain to many parts of England at the same time. This next area of low pressure developing in the Atlantic will be with us through Saturday. Midday Saturday sees about first low going up to Denmark. This next low pressure coming in. This one's deepening like mad. It's going to bring some very heavy rain and some strong to gale force winds across the country through the course of Saturday afternoon. As we move through to midnight on Sunday, that low pressure is moving off into the North Sea, but we've got tightly packed isobars wrapped around that low pressure, so it will be windy. So a very disturbed few days coming up with a lot of heavy rain and strong winds as well. This is the high resolution NAE model precipitation forecast from website Weather Online. You can find the link to Weather Online on my links page. This is the rainfall forecast for midday tomorrow. We've got outbreaks of rain developing across England and Wales at that point. The rain just gets heavier and more extensive as we move through Friday afternoon. It's 6 o'clock in the evening on Friday. Yep, very wet scene across many parts of the country. As we move through to midnight on Saturday, well, still heavy rain there across much of England and Wales, but particularly central eastern parts of England. And then finally, as we move through into midnight, 6 o'clock in the morning, on Saturday, that low pressure is moving off into the North Sea. Notice this next massive rainbow out in the Atlantic. That's the next area of low pressure starting to head in. So the total precipitation forecast from the NAE model indicates that much of England and Wales are at risk of anything from 10 to 20 millimetres from Friday into Saturday, but this sway stretching from South Wales through the Midlands into Lincolnshire could get anything up to 25 millimetres, that's an inch of rain. Also the chance of over an inch of rain down across the far south and southeast of the country. A very wet sort of spell coming up Friday, and then even wetter and windier as we go into Saturday. Now, is there any sign of a break in this weather? Well, not really. This is the 8 to 10 day mean 500 millibar flow chart. We've got the ECMWF here on the left. The GFS is over on the right. This is taking us to around the excuse me, this is taking us to around the 10th of November, and we're seeing these very tightly packed isobars still stretching across the Atlantic into Europe. The low pressure is sitting to the north of the country as a very deep trough, both on the ECMWF and the GFS. Yeah, got a very deep trough of low pressure indicated by the blue colours. The high pressure, the orange colours, sitting to the south through the Mediterranean and out into the mid-Atlantic. So it's basically a continuation of the setup for the first 10 days of of November at least, with the trough of low pressure to the north, the high pressure to the south, a very strong jet stream running across the Atlantic, staying really, really unsettled. If you have a look at the GFS ensembles, remember the red line is where we should be, these are temperature ensembles, red line is where we should be. We're about average at the moment. We're going to go a little bit cooler than average as we go into the weekend. But next week, we're going to find the temperatures picking up again, going to get really quite mild, and that's as the, excuse me, again, that's as the area of low pressure moves in off the Atlantic. Lots of precipitation spikes coming up as well. So it's going to remain very wet at least for the first week to 10 days of November. Temperature anomalies show we're going to be above average in these pink colours. So yeah, temperatures anomalies 0 to 2 degrees above average. The generic charts for GFS, this is for bonfire night, shows another area of low pressure rattling in across the country, bringing wet and windy conditions to many places. And we stay very unsettled as we go through the middle of next week. Quite mild air being brought in with this. So we will see that milder spell later next week. But it's very unsettled and windy with quite a lot of rain up in the northwest in particular. And as we move through to a week ahead, Thursday the 7th, it's still staying very unsettled. Low pressure is dominant in the northern Atlantic. And no change going out to Friday the 8th, on into Sunday the 10th. This is day 10. If anything, the low pressure becomes more intense to the north of Scotland at 965 millibars. That's very, very deep, spreading more heavy rain and gales across the country. So staying very unsettled for the first 10 days of the month at least. ECMWF shows no change. Low pressure moving in on bonfire night, giving quite an unsettled sort of day. As we go through to the 6th of November, well, it's unsettled, strong westerly winds bringing in these weather fronts across the country. And no change going through to Thursday the 7th, on into Friday the 8th. Yeah, we're keeping it unsettled. High pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. Broad westerly flow, it's as flat as a pancake really, bringing more weather systems across the country, outbreaks of rain at times. And then we get this deeper area of low pressure starting to develop in the Atlantic on Saturday the 10th. And going through to Sunday the 11th, that becomes quite a deep storm system to the north of Scotland. More low pressure in the Atlantic, just a conveyor belt of low pressure. No end in the train, and yeah, more unsettled conditions, tight packed ice bars, so very windy, and there'll be heavy rain spreading across the country at times. So there really is no sign of a let-up in this unsettled weather. I think southern areas may get a drier, quite warm slot through the middle of next week, actually, with the rain perhaps more confined to the northwest. But overall, it's a really, really unsettled spell with lots of strong winds, lots of heavy rain, and it's going on at least until the 10th of November. And if we take that chart at face value, I'll just get rid of this promote, take that at face value from the ECMWF, it would take several days beyond that to get out of that. So I think the first half, we can say that the first half of November is going to be very unsettled, lots of heavy rain, lots of strong winds, not cold, and at times it could be really quite mild, but certainly no sign of a break to this unsettled condition, to these unsettled conditions for the first half of November. And in the more immediate term, very wet across England and Wales tomorrow, and then as we go through to Saturday, it could turn quite stormy again. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.